poison dart frogs are amphibians native to warm, humid regions of Meso and South America, and have also been introduced to Hawaii. Many species are sadly endangered due to habitat loss. The family, also known as Dendrobatidae, contains between 100 and 220 species, ranging from the tiny minute poison dart frogs, which measure under 2 centimeters long, to the skunk frog, which measures up to 2.6 inches. They are nearly identical to the mantleline frogs of Madagascar, but the two families are not closely related and are likely the result of convergent evolution. The frogs are insectivores that collect toxins from the insects they eat, mostly beetles, which explains their common name. These poisons can remain in the animal's skin for some time, and wild-caught specimens remain toxic for long periods after being brought into a captive environment. However, all frogs produce poisonous secretions, but dendrobatids, with their lipophilic alkaloids, are among the few frogs whose poisons affect humans, and contains some of the world's most toxic species, including the golden poison dart frog. This small frog was first discovered in 1978 and has enough poison to kill 10 adult men. However, not all the frogs can kill humans, with the poisons of some causing symptoms such as swelling, nausea, and muscle paralysis. The frogs have even been used to coat the arrow tips of some indigenous populations for centuries, with around 3 or 4 species of philobates being used for this purpose, which leads some people to refer to them as poison arrow frogs. To warn predators of their toxicity, dendrobatids are typically bright colours including yellow, red, green, blue and black. This type of coloration is known as being aposematic, but other species within the family include the cryptic Colostethus, which has very minimal, if any, toxicity. Not all members of the same species share the same coloration, and a single species can include several colour morphs, some of which arose as recently as 6,000 years ago. Their toxicity also means they have only one natural predator, Limnodophis epiphenelis, a species of snake that is resistant to their poison. One of these poisons even has a beneficial effect on humans and has been used as a painkiller. However, a therapeutic dose is often very close to a fatal dose, and one such chemical has a strength 200 times more potent than morphine. Further research has expanded into the use of these poisons as bases for muscle relaxants, heart stimulants, and appetite suppressants. A group of dendrobatids is referred to as an army, and whilst they are known to show relatively complex social behaviours, staying in pairs or small groups, they are still aggressively territorial. Males will wrestle over the best territories, whilst the females fight over the best egg-laying spots. Many of their behaviours are incredibly conspicuous, including those related to territoriality, courtship, mating, and parental care, even in those species that are not brightly coloured. Poison dart frogs are known to be very attentive parents, with clutches of up to 40 eggs being laid by the female. However, once the young hatch, the parents must carefully transport the tadpoles on their backs to a suitable pool of water within a bromeliad. Every few days, the female will return to her tadpoles, laying a few infertile eggs which provide food for the developing young. At around 8 weeks old, the tadpoles will start to develop their front legs, and by the 10th week, their eyes have changed position and their tail is absorbed. By 3 months old, they can leave the safety of their nursery pool and will be fully mature within a year. However, whilst they are protected from outside predators, some species of dendrobatids have been recorded to show cannibalistic behaviours, with those individuals that consume 3 or more conspecific tadpoles having a much higher growth rate and subsequently living longer lives. Other than habitat loss, another major threat to these frogs is disease. Like many amphibians, the dart frogs are at risk from chytrid fungus. The fungus will grow on the skin of the adult frog, essentially suffocating them as the frog is no longer able to absorb water and oxygen through their skin. Luckily, no poisoned frogs are greatly impacted by the fungus, but it is spreading into new areas. The welfare of the frogs is vitally important for all scientists, not just herpetologists. These frogs are often viewed as the canaries in the coal mine, being extremely sensitive to small changes in their environment and therefore can foreshadow impacts on other species. Some species are also impacted by the pet trade, including the blue poison frog. Thousands of them have been smuggled into pet shops all over the world, leading to the wild populations experiencing sharp declines. The dendrobatids contain 3 subfamilies: the Colostethinae, the Dendrobatinae, and the Hyloxalinae. The Colostethinae includes around 65 species that can be found throughout most of Amazonian South America to the eastern slopes of the Andes, as well as north to Colombia and southwestern Costa Rica. They are typically dull in coloration and non-toxic, and some members are referred to as rocket frogs. Previously, the subfamily contained all the Colostethus species, but some species such as C. rufeni and C. polycinotus are now thought to belong to other subfamilies. The Dendrobatinae is found widely from Nicaragua to Guyana, lower Brazil and Bolivia, with a total of around 60 species. The family includes some of the most toxic examples of dendrobatids, including the phyllobates. The Hyloxalinae are found from Panama south to Peru along the Pacific coast, including in the eastern foothills of the Andes and the upper Amazon basin, with a total of around 73 species.